Welcome back to another podcast. It's been a while, quite a while, nearly a year since the last podcast, but we'll get straight into it anyway. We're going to start off the first podcast of this next set of podcasts on the football. Obviously, I'm going to be doing a full-on football, kind of podcasted blog kind of thing with transfers and everything else, and I'll be going live every game week for the Leicester games. And I'll be doing stuff, bits and bats and that from there. But until then, we'll jump straight in anyway. Transfers wise for Premier League, a lot of clubs have made some pretty good signings. Unfortunately, we still have yet to make any signings. Quite a lot of rumours. Was one player that's already going, which I will eventually mention later on once I've gone through everything else. Yeah, but literally it looks like nobody's coming into us. Which is a bit disappointing, especially with the signings that everybody else has been making in the Premier League at the moment. It's very worrying, but we'll have to just see how things go at the moment. Obviously, the newest rumour which has been coming out yet, I don't know if it's verified or anything. There's quite a few sources going around about this though. It's about Jamie Vardy's situation at Leicester. Apparently, Chelsea and Manchester United are monitoring the situation because he's obviously not signed a new contract to us yet, and he's only got 1 year left on his deal. And apparently Chelsea and Man United both want to sign Jamie Vardy this summer window, which I hope they don't, because if we lose Vardy, then we are royally screwed. We're already in a pretty crappy situation as it is with no signings. No one's going out, no one's coming in. I can understand why we haven't signed anyone, because we have 34 players on the registered list and you can only register 25. So I can understand why we haven't signed anyone, because we need to offload all the dead wood before we can sign. And obviously, because of the wages, the amount of wages that, if you look at Ryan Bertrand and Janik Vestergaard, they're on 60 to 80k a week, and they're not even playing. And then you've got other players that are lower down the ranks that are getting 50, 60, 70, 80k, and they don't even play, or they might play in rotations. I can understand why, but I'm a bit frustrated at the fact we haven't signed anyone. Rumours of players leaving and all this, and the fact we haven't made any signings, it is a very worrying situation. Thinking that if, I know we've got the same squad pretty much as we had with the 2 fifth finishes in the FA Cup win, but we'll be better off this season than we were last season because of all the injuries. But it's just worrying we haven't signed anyone. Like I said, I can understand, because like I said before, the fact that we've got too many players on the wage bill and that, and financial fair play and all that, we need to stick around it. But it's just very frustrating. So yeah, as I said, Chelsea and Man United are monitoring Jamie Vardy. There's also another transfer that's come out. Chelsea are trying to push to sign Wesley Fofana off us. We've valued him at 8 to 4 million according to a few sources. And apparently Wesley Fofana is now trying to push for a Chelsea transfer. As he's dropped hints on social media, he's removed Leicester City player from his Instagram and Twitter bios. Stuff has been posted is kind of clinically hinting that he wants out. And obviously he's emerged as Chelsea's number one centre-back target, because obviously Chelsea missed out on Jules Kounde, so obviously they're trying to poach Fofana off us, who obviously, because Kounde went to Barcelona. So if we lose Fofana, say if we lost Vardy did actually go to Chelsea, Man United, and then we lost Fofana as well, leaving transfers so late now, with not even a month left of the transfer now, is there? We're going to be in a relegation scrap if, we get rid of top players and, we don't sign anyone that's nowhere near good enough. And, leaving deals till late isn't a good thing in any transfer window. So it's going to be bad either or, but, you have to deal with it. So, yeah, apparently Fofana wants out, which is fair enough if he wants out. But like I said, we valued him at 84 million. So if Chelsea want him, they're going to have to cough up 84 million from him then, aren't they? It's just, it's as simple as that. But, apparently, Chelsea want to add in Ruben Loftus-Cheek into the deal for Wesley Fofana now. Sources are reporting that, obviously, because Fofana wants out, we valued him at 84 million. Obviously, Chelsea don't want to pay that, so they're trying to add in the Ruben Loftus-Cheek deal into it. So we'll get Ruben Loftus-Cheek with cash for Fofana. Which is a bit of a weird one, because Fofana is a centre-back and isn't Loftus-Cheek a midfield? Well, we'd need a centre-back to cover Fofana. We're not going to take a midfielder for a centre-back, are we really? We've got enough, in the midfield with Maddison, Tillsman. We'll have Pratt there. We've got Barnes there. You've got Perez there. Even though I hope Perez does go, but he's probably not going to go. It is what it is. And obviously something that's been reported for quite a long time now, and it is now official. Kasper Schmeichel's leaving us. He's leaving Leicester for 1 million with add-ons to RGC Nice. He's apparently having a medical tomorrow. Or say tomorrow, Wednesday this week. That's if I put the podcast up tonight, it'll be tomorrow. If I put it up tomorrow, it'll be today. Then he has the medical. And then obviously he's gone. And obviously Brendan Rodgers has come out and said that he's gonna give Danny Ward and Daniel Iverson the chance to battle it out for the number 1 spot, which I'm kind of frustrated with that, because Daniel Iverson hasn't really got Premier League experience. Yes, he was apparently very good at Preston last season on loan, and Preston very highly rated him, and a lot of our fans do kind of rate him a bit, but we need someone to cover. This season we need to be battling for a European spot. And putting someone in there that lacks the experience is not going to get us the European spot. We're going to be scrapping mid-table, and that's not the target we should be going for. After everything, 2-5 finishes in FA Cup, the stuff that we're building, we shouldn't be aiming any lower than a European spot. And I honestly don't believe we're going to get it this season. We're going to be pushing for mid-table, like at the very best, with a lack of no transfers. Players going in, Schmeichel's going, yeah, fair enough, he's 35, and he wasn't that great last season compared to what he was, but it's the fact that we haven't really got cover. Danny Ward, you can't really say is anywhere near as good as what Schmeichel is, and same with Daniel Iverson, because he has no experience. I hope I'm wrong, but the fact that he's putting Danny Ward in as number 1 goalkeeper for now is very, very worrying. I don't know what's what, but there also has been other reports that apparently we're after Bernard Leno, and if you pronounce it, from Arsenal. Apparently we want him, and apparently Arsenal want is it Tielemans, and they want to add in the Leno goalkeeper deal in with Tielemans because they want to try and sign Tielemans. So that's been reported by various sources as well. So as you can see, there's a lot going out, and obviously Maddison, apparently Tottenham and Newcastle after Maddison. Newcastle put in an initial 40 million bid for James Maddison, which got rejected, and then Newcastle put in a second bid of 50 million upwards, but we're valuing Maddison at 60 million, which Newcastle don't want to reach. So Newcastle are now trying to put in player offers with it, like Chelsea for Fofana, to try and persuade us to sell. So with what's going, it's very, very, very worrying. Top players being linked, deals being agreed apparently from different sources. Kasper leaving. West Brom Albion are actually interested in Iverson. So if Iverson goes to West Brom, and Kasper's already gone pretty much after his medical, if Iverson goes as well, we've got Danny Ward. That's all we've got in goal. One goalkeeper, Danny Ward. Danny Ward ain't going to bring us Europe. I'm sorry, but Danny Ward is not going to bring us European competition football. There's no way. I mean, it was pretty decent at the Euro just gone. But there's no way he's a class, especially at 29 years old, he's past it. If he was going to be good, it'd be good by now. And, the fact he's hardly played since signing for us 4 years ago. He's had 1 league appearance in 4 years. Not been on loan anywhere. The only football he's really had is when he's been on for Wales at international level. Well, that's a whole different gravy compared to the Premier League. So, just having Danny Ward, if Iverson goes with Schmeichel, we're in a very, very sticky situation. Like I said, if these top players go, and we get players in that are nowhere near as good as what, like Fofana, so if Vardy goes with Schmeichel, then Iverson, and then if Tielemans goes and Maddison as well, we're going to be in a relegation scrap. It's very worrying. I don't know what the owner is thinking, but I'm hoping we actually don't sell anyone. Now, Schmeichel, yeah, fair enough. We already know that's an official confirmed deal because he's doing a medical. I hope we don't sell anyone else now and retain, and maybe make at least 2 signings. We were rumoured to quite a few players, like at the beginning of the window, like Benjamin Burangard, whatever he's called, from I can't remember what he's called. Something along that line. We were like linked to him. Then we were linked to Charles de Ketelaere. Then we were linked to a couple other midfielders. Then there was a Levi Colwill from Chelsea we were linked to. Apparently we put a bid in there. Nothing came of that from Chelsea. And obviously, with all these like rumours and links and sources from like Sky Sports, TalkSport, BBC, BBC and all that, all these reports, it is very worrying because if all these top players go, leaving it so late as well in the transfer window, you're going to be in a very, very, very bad situation because you're not going to get any good deals from any top players now this late into the season when the season's starting this Friday. I don't know what to think. Like I said, I hope we do retain every single player, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Because obviously, like I said, Maddison, Tielemans, Fofana, Vardy, Schmeichel's already gone. Apparently Newcastle want Harvey Barnes now along with James Maddison. Apparently they put a bid in for Harvey Barnes now as well. Apparently they've put a 40 million bid in for Barnes as well, but they're trying to persuade us to sell both. Or I don't know what's going on. I'm just reading up reports from different sources. Obviously some of the sources aren't reputable as considered to others. Like say, if Fabio says something, then what he says, it's like, here we go. Like for a fact that it's 100%. Everything he says is 100% true to it. His credibility is very, very true to it. But then obviously, like I said, with the Fofana deal to Chelsea, apparently he's already agreed personal terms, and the move's expected with an asking price at 50 million. Like I said, they did originally value him at 84 million, but then apparently SSN, which is the source, said that apparently the personal terms have been agreed by Chelsea. Fofana wants to go to Chelsea for 50 million with the Ruben Loftus-Cheek deal. I haven't heard anything for a couple of days since that, so I don't know if it's been escalated, if it's happening, if it's just a rumour by SSN that just isn't true. I haven't have a clue. But like I said, and also insider Dean Jones, he was speaking on the Chasing Green Arrows YouTube channel about Jamie Vardy being obviously discussed as a last minute option by United and Chelsea, like I said previously. Like I said, if we did lose Vardy, we do have Daka and Nacho. But Nacho, to be fair with me, Nacho it isn't cut anymore. He had his one season where he was good, not last season, season before. Now he's just dropped off. I think we need to sell Nacho. Daka, I'm hoping, does come on good this season, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Because obviously Vardy's going to be the number one slot if he stays. So, and Vardy's probably got 2 seasons tops left in him. To be fair, I see if he does stay with us, I see him leaving next season because with the amount of injuries he keeps getting as well. He got injured for more than half of the season last season. He's probably going to pick up an injury again this season. Because he keeps having groin problems and leg problems. It's age. It's what happens when you age. So he's coming to the end of his career pretty much now. He is pushing it. But he is guaranteed to score the goals for, and he's the one that has helped us push. These last 10 years that he's been with us. Same with Schmeichel as well. To be fair. So the Schmeichel and Vardy are the last 2 veterans since the rebuild and us winning the Championship, then the Premier League, then the FA Cup, 2 for finish. They are the backbone of that success, mainly. So like I said, it is very worrying with everything that is currently happening. But like I said, we need to make some signings, and like I said, it doesn't look like we are going to make any signings. So for now, we're just going to have to barefoot and just hope something does happen. Because if it doesn't, then we are screwed. There's also some tabloids and some other tabs and sources reporting that we're keen on signing Edin Dzeko. Isn't he 34? I don't think that source is reputable, but there is a few people that have been mentioning over Twitter about us keeping tabs on Edin Dzeko. I'm not really going to comment on that because he's a bit past his prime now. And then obviously we're in talks with Man City over a possible deal for Nathan Ake. That was reported a week or 2 ago, but I'm pretty sure aren't Chelsea looking at getting Nathan Ake now. So that was Sky Sports News obviously reporting that about us wanting Nathan Ake. And obviously, as I've mentioned, Youri Tielemans, Arsenal have had plenty of bids knocked. Apparently personal terms were met, but they just weren't given the amount of money which obviously we as a club wanted for Tielemans. There's so many different things, and then obviously apparently Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's one. He's on a watch list by us. Harry Winks was on a watch list and rumoured that we wanted him for a while. There was very different. Scrolling through the sources and everything that I've looked at, and then obviously what makes me laugh though is Islam Slimani, which we sold. And he's back at Sporting now. Apparently Nottingham Forest want him. Oh my god, the amount of signings Nottingham Forest. We'll mention that once I mention Leicester. We'll go through all the clubs. Nottingham Forest, they made about 15. So they basically bought a whole new squad. We'll go through that in a minute. They made a lot of signings. And obviously, apparently, we're being linked with Brennan Johnson as well. Apparently, he was a source and a link. Apparently, we're after him as well. There's a lot of rumours floating about, but there's no like credibility, like nothing to it. Nothing official. From the club or the club actually saying. And obviously, the fact that Rodgers hasn't really commented on any transfer stuff because nothing's really happened. Like I said, it's very worrying, but we'll just have to see what the season holds when it starts on Friday. Hopefully we can push for European spot. That's what we should be targeting for. But like I said, I really, really do not see it happening because we could have signed Christian Eriksen, and we didn't. That just fell through, and he ended up going to United. There's a couple of deals where we've apparently went in for them, but then other clubs have got them. It's very worrying. It's like, well, to be fair, I don't blame them because we've got no European or Championship football next season. That was because not of Rodgers' fault. It's because of the amount of injuries we had. All the players were constantly getting injured. We had like nothing to it. Nothing could be done. That's why we didn't get it. We still finished 8th, but we could have easily pushed for top 6 if we didn't have injuries last season, which was very disappointing. There was also another rumour that apparently Real Madrid have offered a 38 million move for Kagloso from us. I haven't heard anything for about a good week or so on that deal as well, so that's probably fell flat on its ass. It seems that, we want to sign players, but like I said, we can't because we've got too many on the board. 34 when you can only register. That's 9 players they need to shift before and then shift other players, so then we can buy, because we need to get them off the wage bill, to fit in with financial fair play. Without that, we can't move forward and push on with transfers. So unless we're struggling to get rid of all the dead weights. Apparently Fulham want Janet Vestergaard off of us. I say sell him. Don't even think even if they only offer 5 million, sell him. Get Janet Vestergaard and Ryan Bertrand gone. No matter, even if someone comes in and say we'll take him on a free, do it. Just accept the offers. Get Bertrand and Vestergaard gone. And then look at getting Perez gone. Get a deal out for him. Get Perez gone. Then get all the other dead weight out. Daniel Amati, I'd probably say get him gone. I'm trying to think of other players. Keep Nampalys Mendy because he was pretty good last season. And he was really good in the AFCON season just gone as well this year. He was very good, was Mendy, because they ended up winning it, didn't they, Senegal? Keep Mendy, even though he's pushed. I think he's 30 now, is Mendy, but he's a very good backup. Like I said, there's so many that I can't think from the top of my head of the dead weight. That we do need to get rid of. But like I said, there's a lot. There's a very, very lot of dead weight which we need to, get rid of. So I'll move on from that now. And we'll move on towards. I'll talk about other transfers other clubs have made. And we'll go through if they're going to be dead weight, they're going to make it, they're going to be flops, they're going to make it or whatnot. So we'll go in chronological order. We'll go with Arsenal first. Obviously, Arsenal brought in Gabriel Jesus from Manchester City for 45 million. I reckon that's going to be a very, very, very good deal for them because Jesus, I do rate him. He's a very good player. I reckon he's going to get at least 18 goals this season. He's not going to be a flop, but he'll get at least 18 goals. I think he's going to be an assist machine for Arsenal. And like I said, I reckon he's going to get at least 18 goals. I do rate Jesus. So I'm very interested to see what happens with Jesus at Arsenal and see how that he plays into it. Obviously they also signed Marquinhos from Sao Paulo for an undisclosed deal. Can't really say much on this because I have no idea who the player is. I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't a clue who he is. They also signed a goalkeeper, Matt Turner, from New England Revolution, undisclosed deal. Again, no idea who he is. I'm gonna presume he's just a backup goalkeeper. And then they obviously signed Fabio Vieira from Porto for 34 million. Now, I reckon he's going to be a flop. I know a lot of people are probably like, no, but just look at his stats, and then look at the other players in that position, which Arsenal have. I know, like I said, he cost 34 million, but I reckon Vieira is going to be a flop for Arsenal because with the other players that are there, I'm pretty sure Vieira is a midfielder. I could be wrong on that, or is he a defender? Because he was the third season. He's a midfielder. So yeah, with Zinchenko, which they also signed, they signed Zinchenko, and then you got Smith, you got all. Vieira's going to be slotting in there very. That's why I reckon Fabio Vieira is going to be a flop. And then obviously that I just said then, if Arsenal have also signed Alexandre Alexandra or whatever, however you pronounce. I'm just gonna Zinchenko. They signed Zinchenko for Man City for 32 million. I reckon he's gonna light up the Premier League because he didn't really get a chance to play under Man City. Him and Jesus, I reckon, are gonna be a pretty dead, because obviously they're both Man City players. They've come from Man City. I reckon Zinchenko and Jesus are gonna link up well with Smith Rowe, Odegaard. There, then you've got Saka. You know, it's gonna be a deadly midfield. I reckon, Arsenal are definitely probably going to get top 4 this season. Ish. They might. It just depends on how they gel. But you'd think with the players that they've signed, they're gonna push for it. But we'll just have to wait and see. And then obviously a lot of players have gone out. I won't mention the out. We'll just talk about the in. And then Aston Villa in. They've signed Diego Carlos from Sevilla for 26 million. Can't really comment because I've not really seen him play much. Apparently I've heard he's a baller, but only time will tell. Like I said, I have never seen him play, obviously, because I don't really keep up with like Spanish football or whatnot, unless it's like Barcelona or Real Madrid, like reports for Atletico Madrid. I don't really keep up with it. And then obviously they signed Felipe Coutinho from Barcelona for 17 million to Villa as well. He's a baller. He was fucking sick last season for the half season. I reckon he's gonna come sick. He's gonna be the power horse to Aston Villa is Coutinho. Very, very, very. He's gonna score the goals and assists. You'll watch. And then obviously they signed Babacar Kamara from Marseille for free. He's probably gonna be a backup, so I wouldn't say he's a flop. Going to probably say it's going to be average. And then they signed Robin Olsen from Roma for undisclosed. He's obviously going to be a backup as well, so mid. Then they signed Rory Wilson from Rangers for free, again backup player, mid. Can't really comment on it. And then they also got Ludwig Augustinsson from Sevilla on loan. Apparently he's a good player. Again, can't comment because not really watched. I've watched him play, so I can't really comment on players that I don't really know. And then obviously they also they got rid of quite a few, Target, Wes, a lot went from West, from Aston Villa. Bournemouth have done some very, very Bournemouth are going to go down, I reckon. They've not really done much on the transfer in. They bought Marcus Tavernier from Middlesbrough for 12.5 million, Joe Rothwell from Blackburn for free, Ryan Fredericks from West Ham for free, and Marcus Tavernier twice. What does it say? Came for 12.5 million. Undisclosed. Okay, maybe not. So yeah, and then obviously they brought Gavin Kilkenny from Stoke on loan, Robbie Brady from Preston from free, Sam Sheridan undisclosed from Northampton. Yeah, they're going down. Those players are signalling, they're going down. Brentford have done okay-ish. They brought in Aaron Hickley from Bolgana for 18 million. No idea who he is. Max Dickhoff from Stockport Town free, Maxwell Clark Bolton undisclosed, Keane Lewis Potter from Hull for 20 million. Now he's going to be a flop at that price. From Hull, look at Maguire. That's all I'm saying. Look at Maguire. That's going to be a flop. They also brought in Kyrie's Lisby from Watford for free, Thomas Trzaskowski from Lazio for free, Ben Mee for Brentford are going to be they'll stay up. Brentford will stay up, but they'll be in a relegation battle. Especially if Ivan Toney goes, they will definitely be struggling. Brighton as well haven't really done much in the transfer window. They bought a Julian Esco from Libertad Asuncion for 9.5 million. No idea who he is, presuming it's just a backup player, which Graham Potter liked the look of and decided to buy. And then they also bought Simon Adingra from Nordjylland for undisclosed, and Benico Baker Burati from Porto undisclosed. Again, not much business there, so I reckon Brighton will stay up as well, but they'll push it. I'll tell you what my predicted top 20 positions will be after I've done this. Chelsea have had a pretty decent-ish. They brought in Raheem Sterling from Man City for 47.5 million. I reckon he's going to be a baller, but I think Chelsea are going to be hit and miss because obviously when Tunchel come in and they're supposed to do a rebuild or something, they didn't do that well. They did okay last season. Was it the third they played last season? I reckon Chelsea are going to struggle for top 4. I really do. They might just scrape 4th, but they're not going to be title contenders, I don't think. They also brought in Eddie Beach, undisclosed, no idea. And then they brought in the biggest transfer, which people talked about, was Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli for 33 million. Obviously, he's 31. I personally don't rate him. A lot of people do buzz and rate him, especially at 31. But then again, look, they brought Thiago Silva in when he was 35, and he turned it out to be a baller at that age in the Premier League. But I don't think Lable will. Time will tell. You know, how Chelsea's squad is. Some of the players are hit and miss him because Tuchel keeps rotating every player. When it comes to fantasy draft, fantasy Premier League in general, just don't. With Chelsea players, it's hit and miss. You just don't know who's going to be playing because they just constantly keep, rotating every single player. So, it's one of those things. Crystal Palace brought in Chris Richards, Bayern Munich, undisclosed, no idea who he is. Malcolm Abawaye, Derby, undisclosed, no idea. Sam Johnston from West Brom, free, obviously backup. And then Chiek Decore from Lens for 21 million, which, he's a baller. I do rate him. I reckon he's going to do well for Palace up there with Saha or whatnot. Well, like I said, all the time will tell with that one. Everton, not really done much. They brought in Ruben Vingar, Sporting Livingston on loan. He was with Wolves. Wolves got rid of him because he wasn't that great, so he's not really going to do much for Everton. And then they decided to raid Burnley, that went down for 2 players, which might be signalling Everton might actually be going down this time. They brought in James Tarkowski from Burnley for free. I did rate him at one point, but I don't think he's going to fit into that Everton squad. To be fair, not many players can fit into that Everton squad. And then they brought Dwight McNeil for a reported 20 million. Apparently one of my mates, Oggy, rates him. After a friendly pre-season game he went to, he scored, was it 2 goals or something, and an assist to 3 goals or something? I can't remember what it was now. Oggy will tell you more if he was on this podcast with me, but yeah. It's Everton are going to be in a relegation battle. I think they'll stay up, personally, but they'll be in a relegation scrap. Fulham brought in J.R. Palina from Sporting Livingston for 20 million. No idea who they are, so can't comment. They brought in Andres Pereira as well from Man United for 10 million, which I'm a bit gutted because I do rate Andres Pereira. I've said this in the group chat for the fantasy draft. I do rate Pereira, and I'm fucking gutted that we didn't. Apparently, we were linked to sign him, and the fact Fulham got him for 10 million is an absolute joke. That is a bargain. If he does play to how he is, then he might keep Fulham up. All the time will tell, but like I said, I do rate him, and I'm gutted we didn't sign him when reports said we were looking at him. This is what I mean when it comes to us and Leicester and signing people, we leave stuff to like last minute. It's just, like I said, we ain't signing anyone. I don't see it. Obviously Fulham also brought in Christian Seklerak from Juventus for free, Mano Solomon from Shakhtar Donetsk loan, and Kevin Mabara from Wolfsburg for 6.5 million. Fulham, I reckon they're gonna go down. If they don't, Andres Pereira that they got from United's gonna be the one that keeps them up, because I do rate him. I reckon he's a baller, but he just hasn't been played at United because I think none of the managers United have had since he's been there rate him, so he hasn't been played. And then obviously Leeds have spent quite a bit. They brought Tyler Adams in from RP Leipzig for 20 million, Brendan Harrison from Red Bull Salzburg for 24.7 million, Darko Gayabe from Manchester City for 5 million, Rasmus Christensen from Red Bull Salzburg for 10 million, Marco Rocco from Bayern Munich for 10 million, Luis Sinestero from Feyenoord for 25.4 million. So that's like nearly 100 million. Then again, they got 105 million from Rafinha and Phillips, so that's obviously what they've spent all the money on there. Leeds, like I said, they're going to be in a relegation battle. I don't think they'll go down. They probably will in the next couple of seasons, but at the moment, I don't think they will. And then there's us, Leicester, in none. No signings whatsoever. I won't comment on that because I'll just run on. Liverpool signed 3 players. Fabio Carvalho from Fulham, undisclosed. Obviously, he's going to be a rotational player, which Klopp will rotate round. Same with Calvin Ramsey, who they brought in from Aberdeen for 6.5 million. Again, it's something Klopp will rotate round. And then the big signing, Darwin Núñez from Benfica for 85 million. Now, I know a lot of fans want Núñez to flop because a lot of players Liverpool have signed in the recent years, none of them have been flopped. And a lot of clubs are wanting Núñez to flop because they want a Liverpool player to flop, because not many, like I said, the last 5 years, I don't think any Liverpool players have flopped in the last 5 years that Klopp has signed. Klopp is very good when it comes to signing people. I have to give Klopp that. He's very good with the signings that he wants, and Klopp's one of those managers that if they're a shit player, he can make them world class. That's Klopp. Klopp can take a shit to mid average player and make them world class. Klopp's just a genius when it comes to that. Me personally, I do. Nunes is one of those. Nunes comes in with the Holland debate as well. Like, oh, this, that. Nunes, I reckon, first season, I don't think he's going to get over 15 goals personally. Because you've got Salah there, Luis Diaz. Those two are going to be the main two, and Diogo Jota. They're going to be the three main ones that get all the goals. Nunes, I think, is going to struggle his first season. He'll struggle. I reckon he'll get 15 goals minimum. But then again, like I said, he could struggle. Like I said, all the time will tell. But like I said, a lot of clubs and a lot of other fans from other clubs want him to flop because, like I've just previously said. But I don't think he's going to be one of those that scores 20 goals in his first season. He might in a couple of seasons, get onto that level of scoring 20 plus per season. It just depends on how Klopp trains him. Like I said, Klopp's very good at turning players that are average anyway into world-class players. So, like I said, all the time will tell on that one. And then obviously Manchester City brought in Calvin Phillips from Leeds for 50 million, which I think is going to be rotational. But with a 50 million price tag, you wouldn't think it would be rotational at that price. You'd think he'd be playing him regularly. But then again, look at Grealish. He was signed for 100 million last season, and he was pretty much rotational. Man City for your oil money. And then the big one, Erling Haaland from Dortmund for 51 million. Now, there was a lot of debate in the game Community Shield just gone where City lost 3-1 and Haaland missed 2 open sitters, and people are calling him fraudulent, a fraud, and an absolute scam. Because I did watch the highlights, and yeah, those 2 sitters that he missed were absolutely scandalous. He should have planted both of those sitters in. And he didn't. But I still do rate Haaland. I do think he's going to do well. I reckon he's going to get 20 goals easily if he doesn't get injured. Because like I said, he is injury prone. I fucking love Haaland. Haaland's a fucking baller. It's he will do it in the Premier League. Even if he doesn't do it this season, he will come along next season. I'm just hoping he doesn't get injured because I've got him in my fantasy draft. So he best be netting in those goals. But yeah, Haaland at the moment is looking a bit iffy. Obviously, it was his first game in the FA Community Shield, so you can't really comment on it. It's like saying, Darwin Núñez is a fraud as well because his first 2 games he didn't do anything and he missed like 4 open sitter goals that he could have easily gotten in as well. You could run that debate as well. So people saying that Haaland is a fraud, you could say Núñez is a fraud because his first 2 games he didn't do anything in pre-season. This was Haaland's first game. He had opportunities, but he just didn't put them away because especially that one where, was it the second one which he missed? It went up to score it, the ball went flying. Adrian was getting there to catch it, but he didn't. And then Haaland hit it to put it in the net, and it completely missed. Like, how he missed that, I have no idea. But that game was a little bit rigged for Liverpool, to be honest. That ref was a little bit biased. I'm not going to lie. But like I said, I don't care. I don't support Liverpool or Man City, so I really don't care. Let's move on to Man United. Obviously, like I said, they brought in Christian Eriksen, which I'm a bit annoyed at because we were apparently agreed personal terms, but then United swooped in for him. Of course they did, because, we're fucking terrible at signing people at the moment. And like I said, we're not going to friggin' sign anyone. And then they also brought in Tyrone Malaysia from Feyenoord for 14.7 million. Which I think he's going to be a baller eventually. This season he might be rotational, which I have to wait and see. And then they brought in Lisandro Martinez from Ajax for 56.7 million, which I rate him. He's an absolute baller. I hope he fucking smashes it for United. Very, very good baller. And then obviously the big one, Paul Pogba, went to Juventus for free from them. Mata's gone. Other players have gone. Right now, we're on to Newcastle. I'll get through this quick. Could be a long podcast, this. Newcastle in, Mark Target, Aston Villa, 15 million. He's going to be rotational. It was quite decent on loan last season for them, so I'm interested to see what they do there. Nick Pope's the big one from Burnley to Newcastle for 10 million. Nick Pope's going to be an absolute freaking baller. He's going to get clean sheets a lot. He's going to get at least 14 clean sheets. I do rate Pope. He's a baller. Then again, like I said, if the new Smarkle was going, we could have gone in for Nick Pope. This is what I mean. We are so slow at transfers. It's ridiculous. And then obviously the big one for Newcastle is Sven Botman from Lille for 35 million. I do highly rate Botman. Botman's an absolute baller. He's going to smash it for Newcastle. And apparently there's other Newcastle after others. Obviously, if they get a striker, Newcastle are getting top 8 easily. I don't think they'll push for top 6 to start with. Maybe in a couple of seasons they'll do a Man City when Man City got taken over by an oil club. Take them a couple of years to rebuild, and then they'll end up doing the Premier League, winning the Premier League. I think Newcastle are going to do something similar. And then the big club, Nottingham Forest. The amount of players, it's basically a whole new squad. Right, bear with me. They bought in Auriel Mangala from Stuttgart for 12.7 million. Torara Awaniyi from Union Berlin for 17.5 million. Mohsen Ikati from Mainz for 17 million. Neco Williams from Liverpool for 17 million. How the hell Liverpool got 17 million for Neco Williams? I have no idea. It's like the Solanke deal where they robbed money from Bournemouth for that. Very worrying. They brought in Brandon Aguela from Alajuelense, undisclosed. They brought in Julian Binoche from Troyes, undisclosed. Omar Richards from Bayern Munich, undisclosed. Dean Henderson from Man United, loan, absolute baller. He's going to get the clean sheet left and right from Forest. He's going to keep them up. Wayne Hennessy, Burnley, free backup goalkeeper because he's like 35. Lewis O'Brien from Huddersfield, undisclosed. And Harry Toffolo from Huddersfield, undisclosed. And then a biggie one. They brought in Jesse Lindegaard from free from United, which I think Lindegaard's going to be a baller. 12 goals easily. 12 goals easily. And at least 10 assists. Lindegaard's going to be a baller for United. Not for United, for Forest to say. Well, previously United. Apparently we were supposed to sign him. To be fair, I'm glad we didn't, because Lindegaard's one of those. It can either be good and make the squad good, or it can disrupt it, just like Ronaldo's doing currently for United. But I reckon he's gonna be a baller anyway. It was with West Ham on loan over season. Southampton, they've signed Arme Obele, Kocharp, Borcham, 9.5 million. Romara, Lavia, Man City, 12 million. Joe Araba, Rangers, 10 million. Gavin Bazona, Man City, 15 million. Matsira Liz, Atley, 3. Sakura Mara from Bordeaux, undisclosed. I reckon Southampton, again, probably going to be in a relegation battle. Don't think they'll go down. They might, but it's going to be a bit push. Then Tottenham, definitely getting top 4. They signed Ivan Persic, Inter Milan, 3. What a baller. Fraser Foster from Southampton, 3. Yves Bissouma from Brighton, 35 million. I reckon it's going to be a baller up there with Kolensky, or Kolveski, however you pronounce it. And then Son. Oh, what a duo they're going to be. And then they also brought in Richarlison from Everton for 60 million. I reckon he's going to flop. Richarlison wasn't that great at Everton. How the heck Everton got 60 million for Richarlison? Then again, Everton did pay like 50 million for him, so they've got the money back and some. So, fair play to Everton on that one. And then obviously Tottenham got Clement Lenglet from Barcelona on loan, and Jed Spence from Middlesbrough for 20 million, which is going to be a flop. That's going to be a flop for Tottenham. West Ham brought in Nayef Aguerd from Rennes, 30 million. I reckon it's going to be a major flop. That's going to be one of the major flops of the season. Alfonso Herrera, West Ham, 10.5 million. Patrick Kelly from Colorado, undisclosed. Flynn Downs, Swansea, 12 million. And then they brought in Skamendeka. He could be a fraud as well, because he's got scam in his name. So he I've actually got him on my draft. I'm waiting to the waivers, but I reckon I'm not going to get him, because I want to get rid of Ardward from Crystal Palace to bring in Skamneka from West Ham, but I reckon someone else is going to swipe it. I swear to fucking God. If you lot from the fucking group chat are listening to this podcast and you fucking dare steal Skamneka, and I'm going to come for you, and I'm going to bury you in a graveyard. Leave him. He's mine. You can have Edward. I don't want him because, he didn't do that. Like I said, when it came to draft, because there's 8 of us, I was like, who do I go for? There's like no strikers left, because I've got Holland and Mitrovic from Fulham, and I was like, shit, I'm like, the last striker I'm going to go for, and I was like, god damn it, it's going to have to be hard on. So yeah, I want Skameka, so hopefully they don't take him. And then Wolves brought in Hwangi Chan, 10 million from Leipzig. He didn't really do well last season. He only got 5 goals. Never know, it could come on good for Wolves, because Jimenez is now injured, so Hwangi Chan's going to be main. So all the time will tell. We'll have to see what he does. And then they brought in Leon Chiwane, no idea, undisclosed. Don Plank again, no idea. And then Nathan Collins from Burnley for 20.5 million. I reckon that's going to be a flop as well. Not a major flop, but it's either going to be average, or I reckon it's going to be a flop. But yeah, that's it for the Premier League. For transfers, like I said, a lot of stuff still going on. We'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens. Who comes in, who comes out, la da 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 da, etc. etc. I'm just looking now to see if there's any more Leicester City news. No, just the James Maddison news for Newcastle. Apparently, we've rejected the 50 million bid for him. Thank God. I hope we keep hold of Maddison. We need to keep hold of every player. Yeah, fair enough. Like I said, Schmeichel's going. But we need to keep it as it is. Chelsea have reached a Carne Chuawanka agreement. Apparently, we're made a French midfielder priority in case of a surprise James Maddison transfer. Apparently, we're after Lyon's Hussein Aurora, whoever the hell that is. Oh well, no idea who that is. Apparently, we're also we want to sign Martin Dubravik. Pronounce that right. Martin Dubravik. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's Dubravika. I don't know how the hell that's pronounced. But yeah, the Newcastle goalkeeper, apparently we want him to replace Schmeichel now. That's been reported by a couple of sources. I wouldn't really trust Georgia Boots boys. That's the main one which I'm seeing now, but I can see it on other stuff that I'm looking at. Yeah, I would not trust that at all. What's this? Brendan Rodgers hints at Leicester City transfer priority if club can free up funds. That's what I mean. We need to free up we need to get rid of the wage bill. That's our issue why we can't buy, because we've got 34. We can only register 25. We've got 34. And we need to free up the wage bill. It's not that we've got no money. It's the fact we just can't physically sign anyone, which is so frustrating when everyone else is signing like ballers. I said that. We've got an interest in Charles de Catalia, Belgium international, but obviously he's joining AC Milan now. So again, another deal which we could have gone in for and we didn't. Apparently we're also after PSV's None Madunke. But obviously he's injured at the moment. He's going to be out for about 4 months, so that'd be stupid to sign him. There's other deals that we're looking to go on. It's just one of those things. We'll have to wait and see who and what happens. It isn't half frustrating, but what can you do about it? If you can't physically sign any players because your wage bill's too high and it'll break FFP and there's just too many players to register, 34 when you can only register 25, you can't really do anything until you offload Deadwood. And we just can't offload the Deadwood. So if you can't offload the Deadwood and you're keeping all your top players, you can't sign anyone. It's as simple as that. That's the situation that we Leicester are in at the moment. It's a bit gutting, but like I said, you can't really do anything about it. It's just one of those things. I'll now do a quick prediction. Who's going to finish where. I'll go from top to bottom, obviously. First is obviously probably going to be Man City. It's just one of those things. Man City basically just own the league. It's just one of those things. Liverpool are probably going to finish second again. It's probably going to be close between Liverpool and Man City again like last season. Spurs, I reckon, are going to finish third. They might contend with Liverpool and Man City for the title. I know you're saying, Spurs, a trophy? What? But no, I reckon, yes. With Spurs for signings, with Conte, I reckon they're going to be up there with Liverpool and Man City. Those three will fight out. Chelsea, I reckon, will just scrape fourth. Because, with the signings, but it's a toss-up because I've got Arsenal down as fifth, but it's a toss-up whether Arsenal finish fourth or Chelsea finish fourth. Those two spots are like, it's either going to be Chelsea fourth or Arsenal fourth. That's why I put Chelsea fourth and Arsenal fifth. I'd prefer if it was Arsenal fourth and Chelsea fifth on my own personal, but that it's just the way it is. Sixth will probably be Man United. I don't see them doing as well under the first season under Eric Van Tag because obviously they were supposed to do a rebuilding and that done much, and he isn't that clued up on the club, so it's going to take him. It's like look at Klopp. It took him like 3 seasons, didn't it, to get the transfers. I reckon Ten Hag is going to do a similar thing. 7th, I've got us, Leicester. I hope that's what I want. The lowest is 7th because if we get 7th, we've got European football. Yeah, I know it's all the fucking Conference League, but come on, it's still European football at the end of the day. So us 7th. Newcastle will finish 8th, or they'll finish 7th if we just fucking fall off like we did do last season, but that was because of injuries. 9th will be West Ham. I think they're not going to do as well. They're going to fall off a bit this season. 10th is going to be Aston Villa. Quintino's going to push them into the top 10. 11th is going to be Nottingham Forest because of all the signs. I hope they transition well, so I reckon they're going to finish 11th. Wolves are going to finish 12th. They're going to fall off a bit as well. Crystal Palace, I reckon, will finish 13th. Brighton will finish 14th. Brentford will finish 15th, Everton 16th, Leeds 17th, and then going down, I reckon it's going to be Southampton, Bournemouth, and Fulham. They're going to be the 3 clubs which go down this season. So yeah, that's my predictions. Like I said, little bits here and there could be different. Chelsea 4th, Arsenal 5th. I want Arsenal to go 4th and Chelsea 5th, but it could be. It's one of those you can only predict now off what you personally think. Going off the signings everyone's done. I hope Arsenal actually smash it. I hope Arsenal finish second. And then Liverpool go down a bit, but that's not going to happen. Not until Klopp leaves. Once Klopp goes, Liverpool are going to fall off big time. And once Pep goes from Man City are probably going to fall off as well. It's just a matter of who goes first, which I think it's more than likely going to be Klopp, because I think Klopp wants the Germany international job. But he signed an extension, hasn't he? Is he there till 2025 at Liverpool? Is he there for another 3 years? I think, was it something like that? Another 3 year. I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, once that runs out, I think Klopp's going to leave, because he's done basically everything. He's won every trophy he can now, beside the Europa League. For Liverpool, he's won them all beside the Europa League and obviously the Europa Conference League. But Liverpool are never going to finish 7th. Or come on, let's be real. They're not as crap as when years and years before Klopp and that took over. But yeah, they'll never win Europa League or Europa Conference, because they're never going to finish that low. Let's be honest. Liverpool are going to stay a top 6 club now for at least the next 10-15 years. Let's be realistic. So yeah, that's that. I'm going to end up the podcast there, because I've gone through everything which I pretty much wanted to go through. Like I said, it's a bit disappointing with the Leicester Standard point, but I'm not going to rant on about it. It is what it is at the end of the day. You can't really do much about it. I'm not going to dwell over it. Hopefully we sign someone before the end of the transfer window, but with the first game on Saturday, Premier League kicking off on Friday. I don't personally see us signing anyone. Obviously, like I said, Kasper Schmeichel's going. He's pretty much gone once he does his medical. Vardy's apparently now being targeted by Chelsea United. Newcastle's trying to push for Maddison. Tottenham's trying to push for Maddison. Chelsea's severely trying to push for Fofana. Apparently Real Madrid trying to come back in for another deal for Cagliari Soyuncu. It's one of those things. If we lose all of those, we are going down. It's as simple as that. If we lose every single player I've just mentioned now, we are 100% getting relegated. Or if we don't, we'll just about scrape it and stay up, and Rodgers will get sacked at Christmas if we don't. But it's past Rodgers' third season syndrome. He's never stayed at a club past 3 years as Rodgers. This is his 4th season coming into it. So, it's a bit iffy, because Rodgers is one of those where he has third season syndrome, where he does absolute class for his first 2 seasons, and then his third season he falls off, and then he normally gets sacked by the end of that third season, but he hasn't with us, which means this is his first time he's going into a 4th season. So is he going to go back to being fucking class again like he did in the first 2 seasons with us, with the second and third season, because he did a half a season, didn't he? So the second and third seasons, where he finished 5th, 2 5th place finishes, and then 8th last season, because that's the third season syndrome where he fell off, and then this is his 4th season. Is he going to fall off again and then get sacked by Christmas, or is he going to be class again and get his top 6 again? But like I said, with the signings we haven't done, I don't personally see that happening, but we'll just have to see how it is. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. I'm going to start doing them more regularly now, because like I said, with football kicking off again, I'm going to be starting a proper footballing blog, podcasting thing like Goldbridge does with United Stand. It's going to be something similar to that. So when the games are live, I'm going to be going live, probably on Twitch. We're going to get all the overlays. I'm trying to make all the overlays and all that for it now to make it look professional and all that. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start reporting on games and all that, with blogging and transfer stuff and that. Obviously, when it comes next transfer window again in January. And obviously, I'm going to do a massive podcast thing for the World Cup anyway in December. And then obviously I said that I'm doing Wonder Dreams Halloween podcast thing in October as well. And then obviously, like I said, I've got scripts that I need finishing off. You should see the amount of DC scripts and story treatments I've got. No, I kid you not, I've got about 80. I've basically made like a DC universe now with films that I've got. It's absolutely ridiculous, because if you've read on my community page bit on YouTube, I mentioned some of them, but I haven't mentioned all of them. I mean, I kid you not. Once I get all those DC scripts done, I've got about 20. I kid you not, about 20 DC film scripts. That's on top of the Harley Quinn and Joker trilogy scripts, which I've done, and everything. And my original scripts as well. I've got 7 original horror scripts as well, 2 romantic drama ones, a drama one, like a disastery romantic drama one. I've got some. When it comes to story treatments, I must have about 100 scripts in story treatments. Obviously, that's not fully written up scripts. That's just the story treatments. Obviously, they just need writing up. Dialogue, actions, just needs writing up. All the ideas are there. You know what's happening with the plot. You know what scene's going to happen in each scene. It just needs writing up. I've got about 100 of those. I kid you not. So many. I just need to sit there and write them. But you need to be in the right frame of mind to write scripts. You can't just say, oh yeah, I want to get all these done. I've got 100 story treatments. I want to get every single one written up, because that's 100 scripts. Then you can send to an agent and they can ship it out to film production companies. No. It doesn't work like that. You need to be in the right frame of mind to write them. And you need to, have that inspiration there, the creativity there to write them up. And recently I haven't. I'm slowly getting back in there. I did 20 pages over the weekend, which isn't much, but it's, I need to slowly get back into the routine of writing loads again. So it's just one of those things. We'll just go from there. But yeah, I'll end it there anyway. So thank you to all those that are going to end up watching this podcast. The next one will, well, I'll say next one. I'll probably when Leicester play on Saturday. If I do a live stream, like I said, it's going to be on my Twitch. I will link it onto this podcast thing when I upload it onto YouTube. I'll put the link in. It's probably going to be Twitch that I go live on, because that's what I go live on when I stream games anyway. So it'll probably be there. If I don't stream it on the YouTube, so it'll be there. But yeah, once again, I will see you again in the next podcast.